Hello, 7th grader. 7th graders, your video for today is section 1.4, which is covering fractions and decimals, and this should pretty much be review. So first of all, terminating decimals, a decimal that stops or terminates, so in other words it ends, doesn't keep going, comes out even at some point. So here is an example of one that would terminate. So if I start out with a fraction, it can be an improper fraction like this one. So in order to change a fraction to a decimal, the top number is always in the box. So 15 in the box divided by 4. 4 goes into 15 3 times, and it leaves 3 left over, which means I'm going to need to borrow. 4 goes into 30. There's a decimal here because this 15 ended there. 7, 28, 20 left there, so 4 goes into 25 times, and there it ends because I come out with 0. So my answer to that is 3.75, and that is a terminating decimal because it came out even, it ended. Repeating decimal, when a set of digits repeats without ending, so it goes on forever and ever and ever. So again, I'm going to start with a fraction. How do you change a fraction to a decimal? You put the top number in the box and divide it by the bottom number. And I know that I'm going to need some to borrow, so I'm just going to go ahead and put some in there. Decimal point comes straight up. 11 goes into 30 twice. That would be 22. Whoa, leaving 80, or leaving 8 and then borrowing 0. 11 goes into 80 7 times. It would be 77. Here I'm left with the 3 again. I had a 3 up here. That's weird. So I'm going to get 2 again, and then 7, and then 2, and then 7, and then 2, and then 7. And so to write a repeating decimal, whichever numbers are going to repeat, you put the repetend bar, that's this, over the top of all numbers that repeat. So 0.27 with the repetend bar over both numbers tells you that 0.27 is repeating. And then one more thing that we need to cover for this section is, in order to write a decimal as a fraction, you need to look at what spot the last number is in, and then you put the whole number over that spot's worth. So is it in the 10 spot, the 100 spot, the 1,000 spot, the million spot? It doesn't matter. So for example, let's say that I have 0.125. Okay. Well, I look at what spot the last number's in. 10th, 100th, 1,000th. So I write it as 125 over 1,000. And of course I can't leave it like that because we can never leave it like that. You have to reduce. So let's see here. 25 would go into both numbers. 25 would go into 125 5 times. And 25 would go in there 4 times would be 100. Times 10 would be 40. And that also reduces, and so your final answer would be 1/8. Let's do one that is a mixed number. Let's just do 3.7. So the whole number here would just stay a whole number, and then you're going to have a fraction with it. So the 7 is in the 10th spot. So 3 and 7 tenths. And I can't reduce that, so I just leave it. That's my answer. That is everything for this section, so bring that knowledge with you, and we'll talk about it more next time I see you. Have a good night.